there is Luis Ortiz as he's with Herman Caicedo. Is Herman there?
Yeah, I'm here. Great. How are you?
All right. How are you guys? You know what? I'm going to turn off the comments and then I will open it up after we are done with the interview. But Herman, I want to know from Luis, if you could translate for me. Luis, how are you feeling? What are your thoughts heading into this fight on Saturday against Alexander Flores?
Ya, con la mente fresca, ¿sabes? Con todo eso que ha pasado, toda la pandemia y todo eso, no me he desenfocado en mis entrenamientos y estoy listo para seguir mi carrera. En la meta mía de ser campeón no se me han ido.
He feels really well. Yes, unfortunately, times right now are not, really great for the rest of us here in the nation, and boxing is no different. So it's been rough, but he's been focused. He has managed to get back to some normality in the past few months, which kind of coincides with when he was, made aware of this fight. So he's prepared. He's not by any means, not prepared or taking this fight on any kind of short anything. So he's very prepared for the fight and excited for Saturday night.
What are some challenges that you experienced over the course of training in these difficult times for Alexander Flores this Saturday night?
¿Cuál ha sido algunos de los, sabes, de la cosas que te han trabado en poder entrenar como tú quieres durante la pandemia, desde que empezó hasta hoy en día?
Nada, no he parado nada. Yo, cuando se puso mal la cosa, hice un drill rústico en mi casa y seguí hacia adelante.
Not much has changed for him. When things were a little bit scary in the beginning, early March, he right away hired somebody to build a roof and gym in the backyard. Very rustic, just kind of quick Band-Aid to the scenario. Trained at home with his family, for a couple of months. And then when things kind of opened up and everyone crawled back out a little bit, then he was able to get back to the gym, which, I have a very private facility there. Everyone was quarantined there as we spoke before, including myself. So he kind of crawled back in and we made a special time for him. And then little by little, it's kind of, relaxed. Now we're being tested 3 times a week. So no, it fortunately, it wasn't as difficult as he has heard for some other fighters to get to a gym. For him, not so much.
Can you tell me about, it has been about over a year since you have fought Deontay Wilder. Is he concerned about the layoff that he's experienced of close to a year? Is he worried about ring rust in the fight against Alexander Flores?
Que si te preocupas que casi ha pasado un año desde la última pelea y que si vas a tener un poco de óxido en esta pelea y entrando en esta pelea el sábado, ¿cuáles son las preocupaciones que tienen?
Ninguna. Yo estoy listo y se va a dar cuenta que yo no estoy oxidado el sábado en la noche.
None. No. He has no concerns. Feels very healthy, very strong. The time off has been good to his body. Although he was training and although he was staying very active, it was different kind of work. He was less of boxing, obviously, for those reasons, and more open air, park, drills with his conditioning coach and therapist. So, yeah, not at all. He's going to, show Saturday that there is no rust, no ring rust whatsoever. And, again, it just repeats that he's looking forward and very excited to getting back into the ring, which is doing something that he loves to do.
What did he learn in that second fight against Deontay Wilder?
¿Qué aprendiste en la segunda pelea con Deontay? En perdiendo, ¿qué aprendiste sobre eso?
Experiencia, aprendí overwhelming y todo, no eso. No es que
very, besides the fact that, boxing is a painful business on both sides, right? So I'm sure Deontay can attest to that as well. But, the experience and the the determination after the fight, the affirmation that I want to be world champion, instead of, you know, hanging his head low and just saying, maybe I'm done. That wasn't the thoughts. It wasn't surprising to anybody that what it came out of that was a more determined Lewis and a more, you know, hyper-focused Lewis in everything that goes into becoming a better fighter. So, you know, focusing more on nutrition, focusing more on, you know, hydration and supplementation and things like that. So he didn't say that, I'm adding that, but that's, you know, that's definitely, you know, what he learned from that fight.
Did he feel like with his performance in that second fight, a fight that he was extremely competitive against Wilder, that he set forth somewhat of a blueprint that Tyson Fury may have followed that was successful for him in his victory over Wilder in their second fight?
Que si tú piensas que en esa segunda pelea con Wilder, que tú quizás demostraste un plan que cómo se le puede ganar a Wilder, ¿sabes? Poniendo presión, entrándole a ángulos, etcétera. Que si tú crees que eso fue algo que tú por lo menos pudiste dar y que Fury aprovechó y
sí,
tomó
claro,
eso.
claro que sí. Bueno, fue ese equipo que tiene un buen team y eso fue lo que hicieron.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he can't be positive because he says, you know, Fury's got a good team also, and probably, you know, saw that themselves, that if you do pressure Deontay, you know, he's vulnerable. A dangerous game plan, no, nonetheless, but, you know, it's probably the only game plan that you can really do with Deontay is that. So, you know, he's, you know, thinks that possibly he did that, but, you know, is not 100% sure if in fact, you know, he set the blueprint.
How is he feeling at 41 years of age? And, you know, does he have an idea in his mind how long he wants to go? Because, you know, as you get into your 40s, and now that becomes relatively late as a prize fighter. So how is he feeling at 41?
¿Cómo te sientes a la edad de 41 sabiendo que en boxeo, ya cuando entras en la etapa de los 40, que ya estás casi saliendo del boxeo que entrando al boxeo? Pero dicho eso, ¿cómo te sientes usted?
Yo tengo más experiencia y mucho más enfoque en mis entrenamientos para poder cumplir mi objetivo, que es ese campeón.
You know, he's definitely more disciplined, and not that he wasn't before, but and I use the word again. I've used it a few times because he has, which is being hyper focused and hyper, you know, disciplined with what becomes now his career in his 40s. Because one thing about reaching, you know, that particular age is you get a little wiser, right? You get a little smarter. You realize that some things are a little easier if you just do this that you get away with when you're 25. So, you know, that is what he feels, you know, this particular new stage in his career is giving him. So, you know, it's been about a year that he's been really focused on just eating well. Not that he ate bad before, not that he was an undisciplined individual before, or did any of those things, but it's just a little bit more on hydration, a little bit more about what he is putting in his mouth versus what he would have put in his mouth before. So, you know, I think that's what he said is the most, you know, thing that he's picked up now, you know, at 40, 41 is just taking care of his body a little bit more, listening to it a little bit more, things like that.
How does he see this fight going down with Alexander Flores on Saturday, PBC on Fox?
¿Cómo ves esta pelea el sábado? ¿Cómo tú crees que va a terminar este sábado on Fox?
Cuando el referee start talking shit, le voy a enseñar lo que.
As soon as the referee is done saying everything he's got to say, he's going to get to work. He says it's definitely it's going to be a knockout. He's in the way. Again, he didn't just say this now, but he said it on the last interview. So I'm just going to elaborate. Flores is in the way, and he's going to have to obviously get him out of the way. So, yeah, knockout.